You mentioned, a year or two to be able to fully integrate plant medicine experiences. And I really appreciate that uh, vocalization of that awareness that it takes that long. I was in a chat group this morning, and people who've recently participated in ayahuasca ceremonies with me were describing their first couple months of integration. And they're in a phase now of it where they're starting to realize that many, like hundreds of subtle changes have occurred. But while they went through those subtle changes, they also experienced great mental shifts in terms of how they thought about it and were processing their experience. And I was thinking to myself today that this is just another phase of that understanding of the integration, and that when you take a visionary plant, you kind of shake up the entirety of that consciousness. It changes the patternings of what you understood as like your normal everyday thinking and the way that you are processing information. And that it actually takes a very long time to go through all of the different stages of that process to ultimately come to a new cohesive understanding of who you are in reality and how much reality has shifted. Through that process, I mean, over a course of a year, you mentioned a morning routine and a evening routine. I think it's unbelievably important that people have these kinds of practices in their life. And so I just wondered if you could share what aspects of your routine that you use to be able to stay grounded and continue going forward.
One of the very important ones for me is, yeah, it's so funny. Like I feel like I'm very slow to integrate things. Like, like there's the intellectual awareness of like, oh, okay, and even experiential awareness, but then to actually grok that into my being has been for me a very slow process. And maybe that's the case with everybody. I can only speak for myself. But yeah, the one of the key practices I really have been using for some years is when I first wake up is to set my energy for the day. And I am one of my archetypes, like using the Enneagram archetyping, I'm an achiever, right? So one of my dominant ego patterns is like, I gotta achieve. And so I'll often wake up and be like, oh, I gotta go. And so one of the things that's been really potent is to stop and center in the moment and just like chill out, breathe. Then I'll typically wake up and I'll oscillate between meditation and or working out and then meditating. And right now I kind of been testing both of these because I go through these cycles of different phases where when I live in different locations, the exercise routine shifts by the temperature. So typically I'll wake up and exercise and do like a really good 45-minute exercise and really get in my body. And then I'll sit on the earth. And then a couple practices I really enjoy is sending my grounding rod, like sending my energy down out my spine into the ground, like roots sinking into the earth, and then sending like my life energy into the earth while inviting her energy, the energy of innocence, up through my being and then down my biofield, and then looping those, and then taking my authentic energy, my authentic self energy, and then down, and then I'll get these two loops of energy going. And then with that, then I'll do a series of like different exercises around like making sure my chakras are open and just all the normal exercises. And then just working on quieting the brain. I'll do that. I'll do like, there's a different series of focus that I'll go through like in different cycles. But yeah, long and short of it is I'll do different types of meditations, exercise, and then set my intention for the day, in whatever the awareness is for the day. And lately I've been studying the Mayan astrology and using that system to really key me into those calendars, with every day having a different activation, a typology. And that's been a major practice for the last year or so. And so then each of those archetypes tend to have a lesson for the day. And then I'll bring that into my awareness and bring that into the subconscious. So that's generally my morning practice.